Hello, guys. Welcome back to another Cinematic Mike review. Today, I'm reviewing Joseph Kosinski's Top Gun Maverick, starring Tom Cruise. Top Gun Maverick is a sequel to the original, the first one, directed by Tony Scott. Top Gun in the '80s or early '90s. This one right here, we get Tom Cruise back as Pete Mitchell, and he's back to train some new group of people in modern time now. New cast and all. He's probably like only like a few of the original cast members come, and him being one of the important ones from the first one comes back here. The story deals with a little bit about guilt and all that from something that happened in the first film directed by Tony Scott. So he's kind of dealing with that whole the past coming back to haunt you and all that things that happened in the first one. I do have to say I wasn't gonna watch this film when I heard about it. I have a few things to say. I remember like about 2 years ago when I was doing a project for the university and I had to get an actor, and I was doing a scene with him. I was practicing a scene with him. I think I was doing Brian De Palma's Carlito's Way, and he was playing the character of Carlito, and I had to do like prep, so I had to meet with him at the school because I had to do it in front of my professor. And me and him were having a conversation about movies that were going to come up, movies that we are talking about, and then a show that he was almost on. And I think Top Gun came out, and I was like, "Oh yeah, they're making Top Gun or something." I don't know how the conversation come up, and he was like, "Who the hell wants to watch that?" He's like, "Those the movie's like so old," and he's like, "Who the hell wants to watch that?" And I think I was in agreement with him at the time. But to be honest, now after I had seen the film, I'm like, "Damn, that was a pretty good movie," and I'm glad it came out, and I'm glad they did a sequel to it because that thing was really fun when I went to go see it. Like I said, I wasn't gonna go see that movie because I first of all I haven't even seen Top Gun, the first one from the '80s or '90s, because and I am a fan of Tony Scott, but I can't believe that I haven't even seen that one. I was planning on watching it, but then it felt like this one didn't really need for you to watch the first one. So I think it was just timing. I didn't have time to watch it, and I was like, oh, but I really wanted to go see this movie because it was getting all this buzz and all that. The buzz around it started like about a month ago or so, where I saw that it was getting all this praise that it's going to be a good movie and all that. At first it was just like, oh yeah, Top Gun's going to come up soon, but you didn't know whether it's just going to be the same like cash grab type of sequel where they try to make a sequel because of the first one and then it doesn't come out that good, or it's not, it doesn't impress, or it's worse. I've been hearing a lot. Not being someone who hasn't seen the first one, a lot of people are saying that this is far better than the first one, a lot way better. One of the reasons I wanted to see it is because they're Navy pilots and they're in the air, they're on these jets, on these planes, and it reminded me a lot of the time when I used to go to the air show, where I used to watch all these Navy pilots at the air show, like the Blue Angels. I don't know what the other ones were. I remember I would follow the Blue Angels a lot when I was a kid. My brother and my dad would take me when we were younger. I remember seeing them like fight in the sky and all that. I remember how loud it is, how I would shake, how I get really scared of the noise, or when they would, well, it was really scary. I had to use the things. One of my last memories of going to an air show, I remember they threw like they dropped some fire, like bombs or something, like away from us, and you could feel all the heat come towards you. But it's a spectacle, it's show. And when I saw this, I had a feeling that they must be doing something cool with the cameras, and especially IMAX. And me being a fan of IMAX, being a fan of IMAX, being a fan of like pilots, the jets, and all that, being in the sky, and all that, I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be so good. This is gonna be like a treat. This is gonna be like candy if they do it. And they did. They filmed it in IMAX, and I had to look it up because I know some films it's only partly filmed in IMAX, which I'm like, okay, I don't think I'm gonna pay for it. It was only partly filmed in IMAX, unless it's a big scene that I know is gonna be in IMAX. But it seemed like most of these shots were shot on IMAX, which is what I read on it. So that's one of the reasons that I said, yep, I'm gonna go watch this. I tried watching it on Tuesday, which was like an early showing, but I was already late when I looked up online for the tickets. The whole theater was sold out. So I'm like, great, now I gotta wait. So I saw it the day before yesterday. I didn't do my review yesterday because I totally forgot. I came off of work, and then I totally forgot. I was like, oh damn, I was supposed to do a review on Top Gun Maverick, but I was tired from work and I ended up sleeping. When I woke up, I was all tired, and I remembered by the time I was getting to bed, I'm like, oh crap, I should have did a video on Top Gun Maverick, but I didn't. Yeah, so I got a ticket the day before yesterday, and I got it late. I got it like at a 10:30 showing. I didn't get out till like 1 in the morning. Came back, and then I had to wake up at 6 to go to work. But it was worth it. So yeah, I went to go see this. As I said, I'm a fan of IMAX. I became a fan of IMAX when I went to go see The Dark Knight in it. In 2008, Nolan shot a lot of IMAX sequences. with not a lot, but a few. He was practicing, I think, around that time with the IMAX. I remember seeing Transformers, I think, 2 in IMAX. I saw Avatar. I saw Interstellar in IMAX. I saw Dunkirk, I believe, in IMAX. A lot of these were pretty cool in IMAX because I have fun with the way it looks in IMAX when you feel, and especially when you're in the sky or in space, the way it feels like you're actually in there, or like when the camera's turning around, like if you're in the cockpit and all that. It's pretty amazing, which is one of the reasons I was looking forward to seeing this film. So when I saw the film at the beginning, just like 5 minutes or 10 minutes in, I have a big old smile on my face already because the scenes are shot in IMAX. You could straight out tell, and he's already flying in the air, doing some crazy stuff. The thing that I picked up on it too is the sound. The sound really stands out in this film. It actually almost is close to sounding like if you were at the air show, which is something I love when you were in the IMAX theater. And it's just bad cool when you go watch it. It's cool. All the people in the theater were like kind of already getting pumped up. You could feel all the energy, the momentum, and all that. It was nice. One of the other reasons I went to go see this is because the original one was directed by Tony Scott, and Tony Scott was being brought up already around this time. I think they even showed his brother Ridley Scott just to give an approval of it. He agreed with it, and it reminds me a lot of him because yeah, I'm a fan of Tony Scott's, and I remembered a lot about him. And this year too, 2 movies that came out this year are like kind of like his movies. Michael Bay's Ambulance. I know people are saying whatever they want about it being a Michael Bay film, but there's no way you cannot watch that movie without thinking about Tony Scott's style. You watch this one too. Again, it's something almost close to like Tony Scott's style. I think it's close to something that he would have done if he got to direct it. Also, he would have been doing this craziness right here. I had just seen Unstoppable after having seen Ambulance. I put on Unstoppable. I was reading about Taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3. I remembered seeing the behind the scenes on it, and a lot of stuff that I learned from watching behind the scenes with him. I think those 2 movies have a lot of behind the scenes footage, which is something that I love. And I have memories of what he said, of why he did things with the camera. All his films kind of had this momentum to it, which kept the audience interested and hooked on it. So it's something that I really enjoyed and admired. And here it was awesome too. The story is good. As I said, it's Tom Cruise back as Pete Mitchell. Tom Cruise does great as he is as Tom Cruise. He's a fine actor. He's not like a bad actor, or I'm not sure if I see him like he's in one of my all-time favorite films, Collateral. But yeah, he's fine right here. He comes back, and the story, I think, to me, the story is actually solid. It does deal with as I said, guilt and all that. Him feeling the loss of him feeling responsible for the loss of one of his friends from the previous film, I believe. And another one of my favorite actors is here, which is cool because you got Tom Cruise, like an old school actor, and a modern kind of actor now, which is Miles Teller, who I love from The Spectacular Now and some other stuff that he's been doing, that he has done. Bleed for This. Miles Teller is in it. He's right there against Tom Cruise, and it's pretty cool seeing those 2 actors together. Like a old generation and a new generation. No disrespect to Tom Cruise, but yeah, it was cool. And those are 2 great actors, and the way they bounce off of each other is nice right there. Jennifer Connelly's in here too. Ed Harris pops up at the beginning of this, which is cool. I'm not sure if he's in the first one. Again, I haven't seen it, but I thought it was pretty cool that he was in here because he seems like the type of person that'd be in this type of movie from that time over there. So I thought that was cool. John Hamm is also in here. Cool also right there. It's amazing that he's there. I saw another actor that I think I just saw Strangers Pray at Night a few weeks ago, and I think he's in here. I forgot his name, but he's in here, the actor from Strangers Pray at Night. And yeah, to be honest with you, the whole theater seemed like they would get pumped, even like in scenes where they were just flying, doing these things. There are some cool scenes in IMAX where the audience was just already clapping. They're like and yelling like "woo" and all that. And that's kind of how I felt as I was watching it. I was getting like a little boy all excited and all that. And man, do I love being in a plane and seeing it in IMAX is amazing. The way the camera turns with the pilot and all that, going over the mountain, all the tricks that it does, the curves. It's just pretty cool. It's amazing. And I'm glad that they actually did this kind of practical instead of doing it like CGI or some different way, where you could tell they didn't go in the sky and all that. So one of the other things I can talk about is one of the things I loved about Michael Bay's Ambulance is finally we got another film that's actually doing things with the camera, doing things outside on the street. That one seemed like action-packed blockbuster movie on the street. This one seems like action-packed blockbuster in the sky, and both of them practical. ambulance on the streets of LA, crashing cars, real cars into each other. You know, it's not CGI. There's no blue screen, green screen. Right here, obviously, you're in the sky. The cameras are inside the plane, and they're actually doing it. And I love that he's pushing the boundaries. And that's what's missing in Hollywood right now, is that people aren't like innovative anymore. They just think like, oh, let's just stitch things together, throw it out, get money, and that's it. You know, the beauty of cinema, I think, is when people do something with the camera, something amazing, some nice trick, you know. Tom Cruise, who I don't really watch his Mission Impossible movies, but you know, I'm always excited when I see, even though I don't watch those, I'm always excited. I'm like, oh, what stunt is he gonna do this time? Because it's always one stunt that stands out that he does, you know. And everyone knows he's one of those guys that does his own stunts and all that. I do like I think Brian De Palma directed the first one. I do like that one and the second one, but the first one a lot because it's one of the movies that I saw in my screenwriting class, which was a way to teach us how to write a script, how to move forward, and all that character, all that stuff, plot, and all that. So I think that's one of the reasons it's close to me is the first one, because that's one of the ones that our professor made us watch to learn about screenwriting. I forgot who directed the second one. And I remember seeing the third one. I think I enjoyed the third one when I was younger, but I'm not sure if it's better than the other two. But I think the first one would be the number one, I think. But after that, I didn't see them. I didn't get really into them. But I'm always excited to see to read on the news, like, what is Tom Cruise going to do now? And I have to give it up to him right here because he's actually pushed for this type of stuff. He made this movie for people to go to the actual movie theater. You know, the pandemic happened, people got put away. The only thing that's kind of bringing people back right now is only like these Marvel movies and all that. But this is a movie for actually, I think, true cinephiles that actually want that stuff, that miss that kind of energy from movies and all that that's been missing for a while. It's the same thing I said about Ambulance, man. We haven't had this in a long time. This is cool. They're actually doing something here. Same thing here. Tom Cruise is actually keeping cinema alive. I like that. I heard or read that he didn't allow this to go to streaming, which is something that I admire for him for not letting it, because he's basically saying, no, this is for the movie theater. You got to go to the movie theater to watch this. This isn't for you to watch at home. This is actually for you to get out of the house, go to the movie theater, escape, and have a hell of a ride out there. And that's what I love. I have people that I know that sometimes they're like, oh, I don't watch it in the movie because I could watch it at home. I got my big screen and all that. I'm like, really? But you're at home, you're distracted. I don't want to watch a movie like that. Sometimes I want to go to the theater to escape the world. You know, I'm going to go escape into the story. If I'm there and then something happens, my dog barks, my cat complains, someone knocks on the door, there's a sound, an accident happens, I hear the sirens of the cops or something, you know, I'm still like in the real world out there, you know, I'm trying to escape. But these guys, they're all like, nah, you can watch it at home. I don't care. I can pause it, go pee. I can eat my own food. I don't have to spend. And I'm like, yeah, I know prices are bad, but to be honest, using that as an excuse, sometimes the other things like, oh, I could pause it here. I'm like, why would you even want to pause it? Like, you watch the whole thing. That's how some movies are made for you to not even pause it. Because if you're pausing it the whole time, maybe the end is the part that hits you hard, and that's what makes it a good movie. But you don't get that feeling because you paused it so many times that you didn't even get to feel that build up towards the end. There are movies that I think you have to see from the beginning to get that impact of the end of the movie. And I think this is kind of one of those movies too, where you feel that I saw the movie and I felt for these characters. I got nervous for these characters as they went on a mission. I got really nervous for them. And then when I was seeing what was on the screen, I was just smiling. But again, I was nervous. I was like, please don't let nothing happen to that person. Please don't let nothing happen. Please let them get through this. You know, it gets really emotional towards the end. It gets your anxiety kind of up a little bit. You're getting nervous. You feel like you're a pilot yourself with them, which is something that I really loved right there. And there's a pretty cool dogfight in this film, a dogfight which is amazing. Again, it reminded me a lot about the air show that I used to watch when I was younger. And just when I thought it was over, there's like some cool scenes. I'm like, damn, it's probably over after that already. I think the movie's about, yeah, maybe that's it or whatever. But then it continues on. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah, this is it right here. And you see all these things happen. Man, people even cheered when they were just practicing on how to do the mission, they weren't even on the mission. It was just a part where they were practicing. And you could feel the energy of the room. People were just cheering them on to like, okay, like we were in this mission with them and wanted to win also, you know. And it was just amazing the way a movie does that. The excitement, all that big old spectacle in IMAX doing things. It makes me excited to see what Nolan's another one who does this type of stuff with his movies, where he's trying to be innovative, doing something new. And I'm kind of curious on what he's going to do with Oppenheimer. I'm pretty sure he's gonna do it in IMAX also. But I'm curious of what he's gonna do with all that stuff. I love directors that actually are doing these things to keep cinema alive, to remind people what is exciting about going to the movie theater. You know, I think the story is solid. I don't think it's like a big time like masterpiece and all that. It's a solid story. It's not bad. It's a good script. Always a good script is fine. Beginning to end, good script. A solid. I always call that kind of like a solid script. You know, it's fine. It's right there. It's fine. There's nothing bad for it. Nothing bad. The other thing that I was worried about this film because I was like, oh, I don't know if it's gonna be like too political or something. Some people are saying it is, but when I saw it, one of the things I liked about it is that the people who they're going against, they don't really kind of name. I think I read recently that they did, but when I saw it, I didn't notice. Again, it might have been the moment where I started eating my popcorn and looked away, as it always happens. But I read that it does say something. But when I saw, one of the things I admired of it, it didn't show who the people were, so you can't say like, oh, that's this place right there. So yeah, they're bad, you know, nothing like that. They didn't talk. They just kind of waved, you know, and they didn't really talk. I don't think I ever heard any audio from the um other side, from the enemy that would be in this movie, the antagonist. Not no, I didn't hear anything of that. So that's something that I like that they didn't do it. Again, I don't know if they probably wanted to, but in this time people are really sensitive, so they might. I don't know, but I kind of admire that they did that, you know, because it was more focused on you know, just being entertainment for all of us. You know, it was cool, just a fun thing. You could see like kind of in a fictional world type thing, but it's not. It's really the training of the Navy pilots and all that. And yeah, I really love what they did with this film. Oh, the other thing is I love the tribute. They did a tribute to Val Kilmer, one of the coolest actors. You guys don't remember Val Kilmer? He played Bruce Wayne in Batman Forever. One of the ones that I love from Joel Schumacher more than Batman and Robin. I have nothing against Joel Schumacher. I love Joel Schumacher. I know people talk smack on him, but I'm one of the people that admires Joel Schumacher. I love Batman Forever. He's also in Heat. You know, he's amazing in Michael Mann's Heat. He's in many more films. He's also the original Top Gun. But yeah, he's in here, and I love that. I love the tribute that they did. I got really emotional. I think a lot of people in the theater got emotional when this part happened. We saw it because, you know, I think we're all fans of Val Kilmer, just as some of us are fans of Tony Scott. And it gets heartbreaking when you see some of the people that you used to watch when you were younger in movies, and now they look different because of things that affected them in the real life, you know. But I love the tribute that they did. I love what they did with his character. I really love that. I love that they paid respect to Tony Scott in the end credits also. So that was great also. They did play a song. I think, I'm not sure if they played the song at the end. They played like two songs that I think were made for the film, which I thought were pretty cool. They had a song by Lady Gaga by One Republic, which is cool. It kept that energy vibe, that whole this is summer blockbuster movie, you know, it's kind of for all the audience and teenagers to come enjoy also. And I remember I think that 21 Pilots was supposed to do the song, but then Tom Cruise fired them or something. And I was like, why did he fire them? It kind of goes them being pilots, 21 Pilots. But then they brought Lady Gaga. When I heard Lady Gaga's song, I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, no, actually, I think her song actually fits perfectly for this movie because it seems like a song that would be in that time of like the 80s, 90s when they would play. They would get an artist to do the music, the sound, the single for the movie. You know, Titanic had Celine Dion. You know, some other films from back then had their own. And it's something I miss too a lot about movies is I remember that time when they would always get an artist to make like the single for the film. A famous artist would be like, oh, that's the single to that movie. And I think Lady Gaga fits this because it's kind of a like nostalgic film from like the 80s, 90s type. And I think that's what they were doing at the time with artists playing the song. The One Republic one is also good to me. I love both of them. The soundtrack is good. So I'm glad that they put Lady Gaga as the artist for the single of the movie. And yeah, guys, I just had a good time over there. I want to watch the movie again, and because I had fun. I love seeing like I just it reminded me, as I said, of the times I went to go see the air show. I had just seen a few months ago that they're gonna do a documentary on the Blue Angels, which got me excited because they said they were gonna do it in IMAX, and I'm like, oh hell yeah, I want to go watch that because I already knew. I'm like, I know what IMAX looks like, and I know if you're gonna be in the plane, it's gonna look awesome. And yeah, I had a friend tell me that day that I was gonna go watch. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I was gonna go watch a movie, but if you want to go do something else, we'll do." He's like, "Oh, I was gonna tell you, let's go watch a movie." I'm like, "All right, let's go watch Top Gun." But he wanted to watch it at another theater where they have IMAX, but I've been to that one, and I don't consider that theater room IMAX. It looks like kind of like they just put a big screen and that's it and called it IMAX. The one that I go to actually seems like it was constructed to be IMAX. And I wanted to get the experience. I'm like, I told him, I'm sorry, but I really want to get the experience. I don't want to miss out on this. I really want to go and have fun. I don't want to regret going there and missing it out in here. And I'm glad I went where I went because I had a lot of fun there and I knew it was going to look great on that screen at that theater that I always go to for IMAX movies. So yeah, guys, that's kind of my review for Top Gun Maverick. If you guys seen the film, please let me know what you guys thought. Again, if you guys enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching.